Alright, welcome back everyone for another video. So before I get into today's Bible study, which I am doing Genesis 11 and John 11, I just wanted to bring up what I'm trying to learn how to do over the next couple of weeks for this entire month of August. So the entire month of August I am trying to learn how to Bible journal, whether it be in actual notebooks or whether it actually be in my Bible. I am not for sure. I'm not 100% sure how I'm going to do it yet. I just know that. Here, I'll show you. See, it's kind of looking really boring, really plain, and I'm not really happy with it. I don't know how many of you guys would actually consider Pinterest to be a social media, but I have been using Pinterest a lot lately, and I've been looking up Bible study notes on Pinterest, and I just came up with some things like, here, I'll give you an example real quick. All pins. Okay, now I don't, and the other thing on top of it, I've been watching the YouTuber How to Faith a Life, and now, granted, I love the looks of her Bible. I can't go that extreme with my Bible journaling. Okay, that is just a little too much. It's a little too chaotic for me, so I'm not trying to go to that extreme. But I do want to do some things like, here's an example. Can I see that? I know my reflection is kind of bad, but that is a Bible. That is a Bible on Psalms 118, and it's just like these little notes all around it. This example for in the Bible. Outside of the Bible, I want to do things like on an actual piece of paper. Things like this is on Psalms 25:4-5, and it is. See, it's kind of really colorful. It is really. Like there's like this one little section down here that's bigger than the rest of it. They have it in bubbles. They have something in clouds. The font's kind of different. It just looks a lot better than my current notes. So what I'm wanting to do is, like I said, I'm wanting to learn how to do Bible journaling for all of August. Come on, there you go. So I am going to be trying to experiment with that. I'm going to be trying to get different little, what do you want to call them, like washi tape or whatever it's called, and start trying to add little things. Like I said, don't get me wrong, I do love my Bible. Okay, I really do. The problem is though, one of the reasons why I got my other Bible is because it had these side notes where I can actually write my notes in and everything else. This one doesn't really have that option to do so. So I'm really having to cram in these notes when I'm actually. I have no problem writing on my Bible. I have no problem writing it, doodling in it. I don't. But the problem is, like, because with this Bible, there is no side notes. There is nothing for me to write on the sides with it. So I'm kind of having to really cram stuff into it, and sometimes it's getting mixed up. So what I'm trying to do is I'm wanting to add washi tape and add like little slides of paper or even additional slides into it, or different additional pages into it, so I can actually start keeping my notes in my Bible instead of having to write really tiny on the sides, or not being able to put it in at all because I don't have the room. Now, like I said, really don't get me wrong. I love this Bible. This Bible has made more sense to me than the New King James Version, but just there's no room. So I gotta add my own room to it. And that's what I mean when I'm saying Bible journaling. So I want to do a mix between this and that kind of Bible journaling that I found on Pinterest. Which is why, like I said, I'm going to be doing that all of August coming up. I'm going to start trying to buy the washi tape, the paper, all that kind of stuff, so I can start adding it into my Bible. But like I said, I don't want to go to the extremes of what How to Face the Life did, and having to send her Bible in to go get it rebound and everything else, because it got to be so much of that stuff in her Bible. And like I said, for some people it works. I just don't want to be the type of person who has so much going on in her Bible that it takes away from the Bible itself. If it makes any sense at all. So yes, another announcement is, well, I got put onto a new site this coming Sunday, so I will be working 10 until 6 instead of my regular 7 to 3. And I mean 10 p.m. until 6 a.m., not the other way around. I was working 7 p.m. until 3 a.m. and now I am till 6 a.m. instead. So I won't be recording videos until later in the day, and more than likely my videos will be uploaded in the evening instead of mid-afternoon, early morning, or late morning. But I am hoping not to be in this job for much longer. I do have my TSA medical assessment coming up on Monday, and I have another interview coming up on Tuesday with another security. Hopefully one of them comes through, because I can't keep doing this job for much longer. Yeah. Oh, on top of it too, if you guys not noticed, I got my ears pierced a third time. So my ears are kind of sensitive right now, especially my left one. So my hair is gonna be up for a while. Try and keep my hair off of my earrings. This one's not having ouch. Okay, yes, it is having a little bit wrong, but it's not so much. It's not hurting right now. Only want to slightly touch it. This one even still kind of hurts, so I have to put triple antibiotics on it every now and then. I'm really hoping TSA does not make me have to take them out. I really do. I mean, if TSA does come through, I really do hope they don't make me take it out, because I really like my earrings. I mean, I'll take these two down to studs if I really need to, but I really don't want to take out any of my earrings. I'll just wear like 3 studs. Anyways, we're going to go ahead and dive into Genesis 11. So, get you guys' Bibles out and go ahead and read along with me. Genesis 11 is really not that long. There's only 32 verses in it. Okay, and there is no reflection piece to this one. The next one that I have here is for Genesis 12, which will be next week. Alright, so now we're covering the Tower of Babel. Okay, so last time when I did Genesis 10, we covered the descendants of Noah and the end of the flood and the covenant with God and people. So now we're going to go into the Tower of Babel. Alright, so it says, "Now the whole earth had one language and the same words. And as people migrated from the east, they found a plain in the land of Shinar and settled there. And they said to one another, 'Come, let us make bricks and burn them thoroughly.' And they had bricks for stone, and bitumen for mortar. Then they said, 'Come, let us build ourselves a city and a tower with its top in the heavens, and let us make a name for ourselves, lest we be dispersed over the face of the whole earth.' And the Lord came down to see the city and the tower which the children of man had built. And the Lord said, 'Behold, they are one people, and they have all one language. And this is only the beginning of what they will do. And nothing that they propose to do will now be impossible for them. Come, let us..." Alright, I'm going to continue off where I left off in verse 7. Just so you know, my phone, or my my camera battery died, so I had to replace it, and it stopped recording like halfway through the actual reading. So let's go ahead and get into the rest of it. I am on verse 7. All right, so it says, "Come, let us go down Come, let us go down and there confuse their language, so that they may not understand one another's speech." So the Lord dispersed them from there over the face of all the earth, and they left off building the city. Therefore its name was called Babel, because the Lord confused the language of all the earth, and from there the Lord dispersed them over the face of the earth. Alright, so that is the end of the Tower of Babel, and it goes into Shem's descendants. And I'm going to try and pronounce the people's names as best as I possibly can. These are the generations of Shem. When Shem was 100 years old, he fathered Arpachshad 2 years after the flood. And Shem lived after he fathered Arpachshad 500 years and had other sons and daughters. When Arpachshad had lived 35 years, he fathered Shelah, and Arpachshad lived after he fathered Shelah 403 years and had other sons and daughters. When Shelah had lived 30 years, he fathered Eber, and Shelah lived after he fathered Eber 403 years and had other sons and daughters. When Eber had lived 34 years, he fathered Peleg, and Eber lived after he fathered Peleg 430 years and had other sons and daughters. I'm not going to go read into all this. So Peleg lived 30 years, and then he fathered Reu, and he lived 209 years. Then Reu lived 32 years, fathered Serug, and lived another 207 years and had other sons and daughters. Serug lived 30 years, fathered Nahor, and then lived another additional 200 years. Nahor lived 29 years. He was 29 years old when he fathered Terah, and then he lived an additional 119 years. And then Terah lived 70 years, fathered Abram, Norah, and Haran. So go ahead and go read all of that, because I'm not going to read all of it. It's the exact same thing over and over again, saying, hey, one person lived this many years, then he fathered this kid, then he went on to living this many years after he had that kid and had more sons and daughters. So just go ahead and read that, because I'm not going to read all of it. Alright, Terah's descendants. This is in verse 27. So, now these are the generations of Terah. Terah had fathered Abraham, Norah, and Haran fathered Lot. Haran died in the presence of his father Terah in the land of his kingdom in Ur of the Chaldeans. And Abram and Nahor took wives. The name of Abram's wife was Sarai, and the name of Norah's wife Malachi, the daughter of Haran, the father of Malachi and Haran. It's confusing. The name of Abram's wife was Sarai, and the name of Norah's wife, Malachi, the daughter of Haran, the father of Malachi and Isaac. Now Sarai was barren and had no children. Terah took Abraham his son, and Lot the son of Haran his grandson, and Sarai his daughter-in-law, his son Abram's wife. And they went forth together from Ur of the Chaldeans to go into the land of Canaan. And when they came to Haran, they settled there. The days of Terah were 205 years, and Terah died in Haran. This is so confusing. All those freaking names. Oh, that's annoying. I don't know how people can get through that kind of stuff. Alright. Let's just go. Okay, so let's go ahead and go back to the beginning of it. So we're coming out of the whole Noah's Ark, the flooding, the death of everyone on the planet, and Noah's kids had kids, and they completely populated. And I'm not sure how long it's been between the flood and now. All I know is now we get into the Tower of Babel, and they have one language. They're speaking the exact same thing, and they decided to come together and create a tower in rebellion against God's command to spread out over the earth. Okay, they obviously didn't want to spread over the earth. They didn't want to go doing that. They're in one town and they're trying to make a city and create this tower. Now, they used baked bricks and asphalt for mortar. This made the tower strong and waterproof, just like they did with Noah's Ark and when they put on the outside of the ark to make it waterproof. And what they end up doing with when Moses' mother did the basket, that comes out in Exodus 2:3. So if you don't know much about Moses and the Egyptians, later on in the book, or in the Bible, I mean, the Jews get enslaved by the Egyptians, and Moses' mother, in order to try and save Moses from being killed, she puts him in a basket and puts him afloat on the river, which he ends up later getting into the Egyptian family and being adopted as a son. But in order to keep the basket afloat and keep it from flooding and getting water into him and him drowning, she did the exact same thing on the side of the basket as she did with the Noah's Ark. So, one thing I want to point out, and I kind of wrote this up, I'm just going to read directly, okay? So it says, the heart and materials show that it is not only disobedient to God's command to fill the earth, but it also shows that man did not believe God's promise not to flood the earth again. A waterproof tower was made to protect man against a future deluge. Which is why, like I said, it says, where was it? Come, let us build ourselves a tower with its top in the heavens. So literally, they're trying to make something as big as, big enough to where it can reach, quote unquote, heaven, because they don't believe that God was not going to flood the earth again, and that they were just all going to die, and they wanted a safe proof to make sure that if for some reason he did try to flood the earth again, they would have some kind of place that they can go and hide in and kind of save themselves. So, excuse me, I don't think I got enough sleep. Alright, so God then speaks about going down to the earth and how he used the word us, or it says here, come, let us go down there and confuse the language. That's another reference to the fact he's referring to the Trinity. So God the Father, God the Son, God the Holy Spirit, the Trinity. They're all one together. So he's using that as a reference to saying, let us go down there together and go confuse it. So I'm actually going to hide that real quick. Come, let us. See, I'm going to put that, so like I said, outside here, I'm going to put dream. Yeah, so like I said, when I said in the beginning of this video, I'm trying to get you guys, you guys can see, but see, like that's how tiny my little wording is. Okay, I put it in the side, in the crease of it right here, in between the two verses. But this is I'm trying to explain, like, I don't have a whole lot of space in here for actual doodling and notes and that kind of stuff. So I'm actually really thinking about considering putting in washi tape and these little things of paper to try and give myself extra sleeves to write on and make little notes and doodles. Okay, anyways, let's continue. So, okay. Alright, there we go. Okay, so he goes down with the Trinity and he confuses their language and he scatters them. So he spreads them abroad, dividing them both geologically and lingually. And that's how it gets the name Babel, because he divided them in language and area. Okay. Now, like I said, it goes into the genealogy, which I really don't deal much with genealogy because the fact is that I don't really know all these names. They're confusing, but I do want to point out a couple things though that I got off of BLB. So the line of Shem was eventually be part of the Messianic line, which is recorded in Luke 3. Noah and Terah were the grandfather and father of Abraham. Abraham got his name changed to Abraham, and he's mentioned 312 times in 272 verses. So literally, he is the most famous man of the Old Testament, and probably one of the most influential men in history. He is called Friend of God, which I got that from James 2:23. He's also called Your Friend Forever. 2 Chronicles 27, and My Friend in Isaiah 41:8. Abraham marries Sarah because, well, she was unable to bear kids. And just so you know, I've kind of moved on down to Terah's descendants, just saying. Now, the one thing I want to point out is Abraham's wife, or I mean, he's not his wife, his family came from a family of idol worshippers. And BLB pointed that out to me in Joshua 24:2. So his story begins in Ur of the Chandlers. Did I say it? Chaldeans. Okay. Acts 7:2-4 makes it clear that the call of Genesis 12:1-3 came to Abraham while he was in Ur. Now, I know chapter 12 comes in for next week. I know that. I'm only pointing that out now because the fact is that they are literally starting off in the land of Ur, whatever. I mean, I'm just gonna call it Ur. Okay? Just Ur. And when he received the call, he was only halfway. He only halfway obeyed in two different ways. So he brought his father Terah and Lot with him when the Lord carried Abraham out of the country, and then he stopped and dwelt in Haran instead of where God promised. That is where Terah died. Okay. So yeah. So like I said, here is this. So yeah. So Terah took Abraham, his son, and Lot, the son of Haran, his grandson, and Sarah, his daughter-in-law, his son Abraham's wife. And they went forth together from Ur of the Chaldeans to go into the land of Canaan. But when they came to Haran, they settled there. Okay, they weren't supposed to. The days of Terah were 205 years, and he died in Haran. So yeah, he's called out of the country, and he stopped in Haran instead, and that's where Terah died. So yeah, I mean, that was, like I said, that one's pretty short. It's pretty self-explanatory, self-explanatory to the point. It's mostly the descendants and a bunch of names and ages and when people died and all that kind of stuff, good stuff. So I'm hoping, I'm looking at chapter 12 now. I haven't actually. Chapter 12 is pretty short too, so is 13. I might do 13 and I might do 12 to 12 and 13 together next time. And go from there, because then now that I'm looking ahead, I'm not seeing so much genealogies anymore, and I really don't want to deal with genealogies because it makes my videos so much shorter because I won't really read them. But yeah, so chapter 12, there's no genealogies in it that I can see. There's none in 13 either, so I will probably do chapter 12 and chapter 13 together to make it a little longer. But yes, I am going to start looking at doing some kind of Bible journaling, and I'll start adding little notes and everything to it. And as I go ahead and do that, I might start including a little more creative videos where like I have the camera pointing down on my Bible and I show you how to put the washi tape in and putting in the extra pages. That might be fun. But like I said, just saying, I'm not trying to go too extreme on my Bible. My Bible doesn't have, as you guys can tell, it doesn't have the little side pages or anything else on top of it. But I do want to do a little more creative with my Bible and just add a little more to it. Because right now it's kind of boring. There's not much color to it. But I mean, that's not the point to the whole Bible in the first place. The point to the Bible is to be studying it and trying to learn from it and taking notes and understanding. And right now, I think I need to add just a little bit more to my studies, because I am understanding it better than I did when I was in the other Bible. But I take a lot of notes. I do take a lot of notes, and I look up a lot of notes up on Pinterest and everything else like that. So those kind of sort of things I found on Pinterest, I kind of want to start incorporating them into my studies as well. So I know what I want to do with my Bible itself, studying wise, but when it comes to my notes here, I'm not fully sure. I'm really not sure at all. I'm not sure how I want to do it. I might start getting creative when it comes to my notes on the computer. Once I start writing them up, I do type them up. Maybe I can get a little more creative when typing them up, but make them prettier, bubbling. I don't know. That's something I can explore. Okay, I'm actually gonna try that today. Alright, I'm gonna let you guys go, and I'm gonna go ahead and go dive into John 11 now. So that would be the death and resurrection of Lazarus. I'm excited for that one. Anyways, you guys have a great day, and I will see you in the next video. Bye, guys.